Television finales carry weight. They aren't just the end of a story, they're a farewell to characters we've grown up with, routines we've come to cherish, and emotions we've invested week after week. So when young Sheldon's much-anticipated graduation episode failed to air as originally planned, fans were left puzzled, disappointed, and curious. What happened? To understand the delay, we need to consider the cultural, emotional, and even cosmic gravity surrounding Sheldon Cooper's character, a boy genius, a socially awkward savant, and a beloved face in TV history. But the missed airing wasn't just about scheduling conflicts or poor planning. It was a cocktail of timing, unforeseen events, and a shifting television landscape that ultimately prevented the episode from airing as it was originally meant to. A bit of background. The Genius Grows Up Young Sheldon wasn't just a prequel to The Big Bang Theory, it became its own heartfelt, charming, and surprisingly profound series. Where The Big Bang Theory brought us the eccentric, adult Sheldon, played by Jim Parsons, young Sheldon gave us his roots, vulnerabilities, and the family that shaped him. Throughout the seasons, we watched Sheldon, played with uncanny brilliance by Ian Armitage, skip grades, memorize quantum physics, and fail miserably at playground politics. His high school years were a mix of scientific brilliance and social misadventures. Naturally, his graduation was set to be a milestone moment. It wasn't just about a diploma, it was about closure, transformation, and the emotional launchpad for what would eventually become Sheldon's Caltech journey. But then, it didn't air, at least not the way CBS or the creators originally planned. The script that was supposed to be, according to insiders and credible speculation, the graduation episode was written as a powerful emotional crescendo. The script reportedly blended humor, nostalgia, and pathos, classic ingredients of a good young Sheldon episode. There was supposed to be a heartwarming speech by Mary, Zoe Perry, a silent but powerful moment from George Sr., Lance Barber, and even a cameo nod to Sheldon's future, possibly with Jim Parsons' voiceover bridging the timelines. The episode was meant to honor not just Sheldon's academic achievement, but also the loss he was about to experience. For fans familiar with The Big Bang Theory, they know that Sheldon's father, George Sr., passes away when Sheldon is 14. This graduation episode was said to subtly foreshadow that tragedy, while still celebrating the moment. So what happened? Reason 1, the writers' strike fallout. One of the biggest culprits behind the disrupted episode timeline was the aftermath of the WGA strike that rocked Hollywood. Though the strike itself ended months before young Sheldon's finale, the ripple effects lingered. Production schedules across multiple shows were backed up, and some scripts had to be revised hastily to fit changing production windows. The original graduation episode was a two-parter, meant to air sequentially with careful pacing, but due to post-strike scheduling constraints, only one episode was fully completed by the intended air date, while the other was stuck in post-production limbo. Rather than release a disjointed finale, the network made the call to reformat the season's ending altogether. Reason 2. The emotional timing. There's also the issue of tone. The finale was slated to air just days after a major real-world tragedy. Networks, sensitive to public emotion, sometimes postpone or alter programming if the content may unintentionally amplify grief or seem tone-deaf. Given the rumored emotional weight of Sheldon's graduation episode, especially if it contained hints about George Sr.'s death, the episode might have been considered too heavy or poignant for the moment. Television isn't created in a vacuum. What might be perfect storytelling in one week can feel inappropriate the next. CBS reportedly opted to shift the airing date and structure to allow viewers time to process the real world before diving into Sheldon's world of heartache and hope. Reason 3. A strategic pivot. There's also the possibility that CBS and the creators saw an opportunity, perhaps a new spin-off in the works. Rumors of a Georgie and Mandy spin-off have been swirling, or a possible continuation of Sheldon's teen years. If so, the graduation episode would serve better as a bridge rather than a finale. In that case, the original episode could have been held back for retooling, not scrapped, but repositioned. It's not the first time a network has altered a finale to better align with franchise ambitions. After all, Sheldon Cooper is one of CBS's most valuable characters. Stretching out his journey, even slightly, makes business sense. The fan reaction, from frustration to understanding. Initially, fans were understandably upset. Social media buzzed with confusion. Some speculated that CBS was mishandling the show's conclusion. Others worried that the episode had been cancelled entirely. But once details began to surface, the reaction shifted from anger to empathy. The audience that grew up with young Sheldon knows how deeply emotional the show can be. Unlike its parent series, which leaned on punchlines and rapid-fire jokes, Young Sheldon often lingered in silence, heartbreak, and raw vulnerability. Viewers came to expect more than just comedy. They came for truth, knowing that the creators were protecting the integrity of that truth, even if it meant delaying the payoff, eventually softened the backlash. Looking ahead, will the episode ever air? The good news, it almost certainly will. Whether repackaged as a special, a bonus episode, or integrated into a new series, the graduation storyline is too significant to shelve. It marks the end of an era, and perhaps the start of another. Ian Armitage, already praised for his nuanced performance, has grown alongside his character. The series has followed him from cherubic child to thoughtful teen. His portrayal of graduation, whenever it airs, will likely resonate even more now that time has passed. Final thoughts. The story isn't over maybe, in a way, the delay was a fitting tribute to the character of Sheldon Cooper himself. A boy perpetually ahead of his time, misunderstood in the moment, but ultimately remembered with affection and admiration. The episode may not have aired as intended, but neither did Sheldon's life go as intended. He lost, he struggled, he evolved. The brilliance of young Sheldon was never in its punctuality. It was in its patience, its depth, and its honesty. And when that graduation episode finally airs, it won't just be an ending. It'll be a beginning we've been waiting for, maybe even needing. Just like Sheldon, we'll get there in our own time. Let me know if you want a more journalistic tone, a humorous take, or an added section with quotes or fan theories.